Last time I'm gonna be here. Got this property sold, so I want to go over in this video how the owner financing worked. I was able to pull out approximately 500% return, let's call it 400% return on this property by selling it using owner financing. And the banks wouldn't finance a property like this anyway, so I did another video where I bought this property at an auction for about $4,000. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check out that video. In this one, I want to go over the numbers with you and show you exactly how I sold this, what the terms of the sale were. 0% interest I gave the buyers on this property and still made 400-500% return on the investment. So I'm gonna talk to you about that in this video. If you would, subscribe, like, comment, let me know. Check out the other video. I'll give you a quick inside tour so you can see what we're dealing with here. For a full tour, go check out the other video. So this was a shoe shop. It's kind of a time capsule in here too. Like, I mean, it's got all the old shoe equipment, all the, look at those sewing machines, solid metal. I mean, when people say they don't make them like this no more, that's what they're talking about. Leather working tools. But you can see the building itself, you know, roof leaks, broken windows. Bought this at a tax foreclosure auction. And anyway, go check out the whole video. Let's get into the numbers here. Check out how this deal unfolded, how it all worked out. Get into the dollars and cents of it. Okay, consider this. This is what I'm gonna talk about. Let's get into the numbers. You saw the inside. Hopefully you checked out the other video, got the whole grand tour. And now I'm gonna show you what the owner financing looks like, 400% return, and talk to you a little bit about that. Consider this. Now, when making the decision to sell a property using owner finance, a lot of times these are some of the things that I consider. The buyer's other options for financing, the list of potential buyers, i.e. the demand for this particular property. Do I have a lot of buyers with a lot of different financing, or potentially even cash buyers? Cash in the deal, currently what I have cash in the deal versus what I'm going to get cashed out at the sale, and time frame as far as how long am I going to have to carry this note, and doing an analysis on the rewards of that, and you know, as opposed to any of my other options. So on this particular deal, I'll go right here, buyers other financing options. They were limited. This is not, you know, these are not trophy properties I'm dealing with here. These are not, you know, high demand areas. It's kind of a clumsy building on a small lot that needs a lot of work. And so a lot of times with small lots or dilapidated properties or stuff like that, like they say Class C properties, this was probably further down the alphabet than Class C. But the neighbor wanted that property, and that's who ended up buying the property. And so I had to look at their financing options, and they were limited. So I knew that. I have that going in. List of potential buyers and demand. Again, when I put that for sale by owner sign in the yard, I pointed it at the neighbor's house and said a little prayer over that sign that they would see that property. And I think I would have sold it either way. Somebody else would have bought it, but I knew they were my best bet, and they were the ones that wanted it, because they've been mowing the grass the whole time I owned it. I never talked to them, and I know they've been mowing the grass. They were keeping their trash cans over there. They built a new fence next door, and they put a gate in the middle of their fence going out into the yard of my property. So they kind of had taken a mental ownership of the property. When I had this property surveyed, a couple days later, the survey markers were missing and thrown out, and I believe that they are the ones who took those survey markers and discarded them. So I knew that they were kind of territorial over that property, and they would be interested in it. So I didn't know anybody else that was interested in it, and so when I put that sign in there, the next day they called, the next morning called, text again, called, and so that's where it was. Cash in versus cash out. So how much cash do I have in the deal and how much cash will I get out from the down payment? In this particular case, I had about $4,000 cash into the deal from where I purchased the property, and I was asking for a $4,000 down payment, and so I was getting all my cash out of the deal, and any subsequent payments would just be strictly profits on top of that. And that's ideal. With more expensive properties, that's kind of hard to pull off. You know, if you're selling a $200,000 house that you bought for $100,000, it's going to be hard to get somebody to give you $100,000 down, because then they probably have other financing options that aren't going to require that much cash down, not going to require them to go through an owner finance type of situation. So keeping that in mind, on a small dollar deal like this one, it's, you know, possible to get all your money back out. And a lot of times with lots and stuff like that, you can get a good 70 to 100% of your money back out in the down payment. And the time frame, 4 years. So I felt like that was pretty reasonable, especially since all those payments were just, you know, profit on top. I got my down payment out and I got the property off my hands. I had, if I didn't sell it, I was going to turn it into an Airbnb, because there's a lot of industrial employment opportunities around that area. And so I could use it as a Airbnb workforce housing type of thing. I think it would have been successful at that, but it probably would have cost me $30,000 to $40,000 to get it into a livable shape, and that's just estimating, no telling what you get into when you get there. So I was happy to not have to take on that project. And the time frame now, I've got a $400 a month cash flow, and that's good. Let's talk about the numbers here. So I bought it for $4,000 like we talked about. I sold it for $4,000 down. I financed it $400 a month for 4 years. 4 was just a number sticking in my mind. So 48 months. I did it at 0% interest, just because I don't want to mess with the amortization and all that. It's simple. If they want to pay it off early down the line or something like that, they can do it. It's an easy calculation for everybody involved, and the returns are baked into the sales price of the property. So I didn't feel necessary to, you know, they felt like they were getting a good deal at 0% interest, which they were. And I actually sold the property less than what the county had it appraised for, but I feel like that's probably top dollar that I could have got for the property. So with the down payment and the sum of all the monthly installments, $23,200, which after I take my $4,000 initial purchase out, comes out to about 480% return over the purchase price. So that's a good day, even spread out over 4 years. That's a good return, no matter how you look at it. I had to spend $650 on attorney's fees to get this deal closed. That was a promissory note, deed of trust, all the paperwork, signatures, notaries, all that wrapped up in one at the attorney's office, which I feel like was the way to go on this one. This is not a title company. This was a real estate attorney who closed this deal. And a lot of times the escrow fees and things like that will be, you know, close to $1,000 from the deals that I've done in my area, and probably another couple $100 for title insurance. I didn't buy title insurance for them on this one. They could if they wanted. I'm pretty secure in the title. And so attorney's fees, $650. And then I paid for a survey just that I wanted to have for my own, you know, peace of mind or knowledge of the property and the property lines. So I spent $900 on that. It's kind of a sunk cost either way, you know, so I was going to get it regardless. So I bought the survey, and there it is. So those were some expenses that I had a holding cost, you know. So that's the breakdown of this deal. That's the mindset behind using or not using or going with owner financing as a sales technique. And those are the numbers and why. So when the numbers and the considerations all kind of match up and they all check out, then I'll go ahead and sell it owner financing. I hope this video helped you out. Check out the channel, check out the tour on this property in particular, and let me know in the comments what you think. Was this a good deal? Should we have done something different? I appreciate you. See you on the next one.